say your daughter got killed by her boyfriend. What y'all doing? You scanned the whole thing. What is he? Sprite and perks. Banana and Sprite challenge.
The blood was visible on the door. We were left with 2 names as a result of those DNA.
We're watching 16-year-old found dead by her 13-year-old boyfriend. Murder at the motel.
My girlfriend.
You know what I'm saying? Ashley, we talk about later. I'll play Batman.
There was brain matter.
That cool?
She never even saw this coming.
She was 16 years old.
Is that cool?
Hasn't even got to live life yet.
At 9:45 a.m. on September 6, 2020, emergency services receive an emotional call at the Forest Motel.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put the keys on.
Who shot her? Do you know?
No, I know a few weeks ago she got.
What y'all? Okay, how would y'all react to this? Say your daughter got killed by her boyfriend. What y'all doing?
There's another girl next door to Siesta.
This girl that she had an altercation with, what's her name?
It's her sister, Desiree.
Alright. What's your name, sir?
Oh my god, no pauses for me generational for y'all.
Sunday. My former captain, Ryan Neal, called me on my phone and said that Ridgeland Police Department had a murder and that they were requesting regional agents and crime.
Lisa, I don't know. You're not getting back?
To respond to the scene. The door wasn't shut all the way. I sort of just pushed it open, and as soon as the door swung open, you could see she was sitting up in the bed, kind of slumped to her left side.
Them perks. See, this is why we don't do drugs. Look, you scan the whole thing. What is he? Sprite and perks. Banana and Sprite challenge.
With obvious gunshot wound to her forehead.
It was a bloody scene, and there was brain matter on
Shrug,
the wall,
okay.
all the way up to the ceiling.
Damn.
There's a lot of blood.
That nigga
to the
shot her
left
ass?
side of her and on the sheets. They also noticed that there's been no forced entry. The lock and the bolts and everything are intact. They should have taken Brian Redding out of the motel room first, but they didn't. He was on the phone for a large part of that time.
No, why gotta be a brother? I'm not gonna lie, bro. You know what this motherfucker look like, low key? My keyboard's off. You know that Moolah nigga on TikTok who talking about question niggas?
Several of my first responders
Y'all talking about?
noted
These are my
that
raps like watching something
he
Your rappers don't know what the fuck going on.
wail every now and again. He seemed
He'd
to be
wail?
talking quickly and
twist out
without
demon.
a whole lot of emotion.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Why they got the best photos of this nigga for a murder case? Like, what these all off Instagram or some shit, my nigga? They talking about him murdering a woman. They got him doing a light skin pose. What type of shit is this?
He did call Cypress's
Oh my god, no, this is a
sisters
W down there.
shortly thereafter.
Is oh my god. Wait, hold on. What is this? Hold on, they got me. Hold on. Wait. This is a good fucking ad. $2,000?
I was leaving Florida.
Larry Bird.
With my
I'm
kids.
not.
We were up there.
How the fuck do I look like Larry Bird, my nigga? Nigga just say anything.
With our Papa Steve. We were loading
You
up
white
in the
as shit.
car, getting ready to head back to Ridgeland, and Cypress's Facebook was calling me. It was Brian. And he was
What
like,
y'all?
she's unresponsive. I'm like, dude, you need to calm down.
That Bruce?
Tell me what's going on.
My fault.
He went into detail about his morning. What he did that morning. I don't care about your morning. Is my sister okay? Is she breathing? Is she okay? And,
Period.
And then he said, no, she's been shot in the head. She's
Oh my
dead.
god.
I was sleeping. My kid's father
Like 20 for Justin Bieber?
woke me up to
Yeah, I don't know if you're
my
trolling
neighbor
or
at
not.
the door. I happened to be
Wait,
living
what
at
the
the
fuck?
apartments next door to
Watch the video,
hotel.
bro.
All I heard was her tell him that wake Desiree up right now. Like, I need her to come right now.
Due to the 911 call, Detective Katie McAllister has to interview Cypress' sister Desiree as a potential suspect.
What?
We went down to the station to talk to her. Brian called the police, and in
Wait.
the call, he's basically crying, saying his girlfriend was shot in the head.
So,
And then they asked, do you know who did it? He instantly stopped crying and was like, I don't know, but she got into an altercation with her sister next door.
wow.
He mentioned mine and her fight from like 3 weeks before.
What led up to the fight between you?
Nah, for rest in peace, though.
She thought I wanted Brian. thought me and my friend wanted her.
He was telling her that I was coming on to him and all this other crazy stuff, and he asked me to do something inappropriate for him.
Sucky,
I told
sucky.
Cypress. After that, I wasn't allowed to be around her. I wasn't allowed to talk to her.
Mr. Redding was still on scene. He had already given Ridgeland Police a statement. We took him to the local police department, and I re-interviewed him.
Did you have anything to do with the death of Cypress Newman? What do you mean by that?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to lock in, but this nigga got a fucking Boosie fade. Look at this nigga head, bro. My fault though. I'm trying to lock in though. I had to make that comment.
I'm asking if you personally
But that nigga deadass got
anything to her.
that nigga deadass got a Boosie fade. Look. That's crazy as fuck.
I learned that Mr. Redding at the time was 32 years old.
Damn.
And that Miss Noonan was 16. He
That's
said
what
they
them
were
drugs
happy
do.
that he was helping her get a job and her driver's license and the necessary things
No,
that you
don't
need to get a
this.
job. So I immediately had some concerns with that.
Drugs.
They met.
I'm going straight to drugs, bro. No bullshit. There's no way a 16-year-old should be with a 13-year-old outside like a drug addiction. I'm gonna keep it real. That shit don't make no fucking sense at all.
At the laundromat. She was cleaning out my van. She noticed him at the laundromat and thought he was cute. How they
And you let her
connected
go
in
for it?
speaking or anything like that, I have no idea. I actually worked at Waffle House with Brian a couple years before he met Cypress. I got a weird
Hello,
feeling
sister.
from
What
him
the
then,
fuck?
but I just felt like, oh, maybe it's just because he's trying to hit on me. I told him, hey, I got a boyfriend, and
Everybody disapproved.
Shit,
She
I don't
brought him
blame
to
him.
our home one time, and I told her she can stay, but he had to leave. Next thing I know, she's leaving with him. And every time I would report it, nothing would happen. They stayed constantly at the forest. They were there for a good while. Nobody was allowed in that room. He would get really mad if there was.
Detectives interviewed Brian Redding to piece together his whereabouts on the morning of the murder.
Type shit.
What time did you leave this morning?
I got up for to take a shower. Because I know that she called me around 6. What she ended up doing was she called me at 6:44, but I put over Parker's because I had a little flap in that.
I need to look up something.
He started his morning off extremely early and made sure a number of people saw him and, you know, basically had a very crowded schedule all before 9:45 for a man that doesn't work.
Smoking that
1 month
ganja.
after Cypress Noonan's murder at the Forest Motel, detectives bring Brian Redding back in for questioning.
He says that he's been away all morning. He took a shower, he says, before 6 a.m., goes to Beaufort, stops at Parker's, which is the gas station, on the way into Beaufort, where he was picking up his girlfriend whose car he had. When he was on surveillance, he was dressed in a Batman shirt. That was not what he was dressed in when he came back to the scene and found Cypress at 9:45 a.m. When he was photographed at his interview, he did not have any blood on him. So we do believe that he cleaned himself up at some point, washing
No, that's a birthday present, man. I got you.
his hands, changing his shirt
Ooh, this is kind of bad looks.
on him.
Oh, this is bad looks.
His girlfriend whose car he had. When he was on surveillance, he was dressed in a Batman shirt. That was not what he was dressed in when he
Oh, so he got blood on the shirt.
came back to the scene.
Yeah, that nigga
and
cooked as
found
fuck.
Cypress at 9:45 a.m. When he was photographed at
Nigga
his
caught the
interview,
fuck out that
he did
nigga.
not have any blood on him.
Damn.
So we do believe that he cleaned himself up at some point.
Cleaned?
Washing his hands, changing his shirt.
He could not produce that Batman shirt when we asked him for it.
Oh no, I
Detectives
thoroughly
then
agree.
get a
Yeah.
crucial breakthrough from the crime lab.
The shell casing was sent to the lab for ballistics testing. It could have only been fired from a specific SCCY, or some people call it a SCI, handgun. Her family had told us that she was in possession of a Tiffany blue handgun of that make and caliber. It was not recovered at the scene.
There are videos on your phone with you and
He said L Batman promotion. I see that new movie. Ooh, wee. I'm making a name for myself here.
when we did your cell phone dump, it has names. of those photos and those videos. And there's also a video of Cypress with that same gun the Friday before. That's the gun she was shot with.
When our crime scene unit
Oh,
responded to the
shit.
Forest Motel, the blood was visible on the door. They did swab that
Damn.
to identify whose blood it was, and then our forensics laboratory did their magic. We were left with 2 names as a result of those DNA. Miss Noonan and Mr. Redding. It
Wait,
indicated
so
that
when they do like swabs, do they get their blood like beforehand? Like when they take them in? It might be a dumb question, but I'm really asking. Like, do they get their blood and then like they swab it and shit for DNA? Or what?
Mr. Redding.
No way your
and
blood
Miss
is in a
Noonan
database,
would have had
right?
To be
That's some
there
like low-key
in that
like
room
weird shit.
at the time that blood was left.
Jason, the lower keys don't really fit. I'm trying to make them fit right now, but I don't know.
With
The
the
bottom keyboard kind
cell
of
phone
weird.
forensics, we found evidence that Miss Noonan was talking with her brother, Greg, and she was trying to leave him, and it was kept secret.
Oh,
She did not
shit.
want Mr. Redding to know that she was leaving. He was upset about that, and it ultimately led to
What's happening, quality?
a
What's
fatal
happening?
argument. So at that point, we believe that Mr. Redding was responsible for Cypress Noonan's murder.
Brian Redding was charged
Damn.
with 1 count of murder,
Okay.
possession of a weapon, and a violent.
At what point does it get so serious you gotta kill your bitch though for leaving you? Like, oh, can we talk about that? Hold on, can we unpack that real quick? Play Val. You want Carrie? Like, at what point is it like you gotta kill your bitch because she's finna leave you? You know, because I feel like that's a very drastic measure. Like, what DC Don say? Tell me no more fishing to see I went fishing. I pull up on the hole and see to create distance. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get a new bitch. If you can't change your bitch, change your bitch. Like, real spill. If I can't have you knowing, okay. See, that nigga just gay. All right, John. We don't have a fanfic.
And possession of a weapon by a convicted felon.
That nigga was a
2
felon
days
too.
later,
Oh,
Brian Redding's
wallahi.
murder trial begins.
Guilty.
The trial
That
started
nigga is
August
guilty.
15th of 2022.
I got the rope right
in
here.
the Jasper County Courthouse. Brian had to stick to somewhat of a script because he had already given a statement. And so if he were to deviate from that, I can impeach him.
Kalani,
with
you in a
that
match right now?
former statement. He seemed very confident at trial. He presented himself as Cypress's savior. You know, that he was just helping
Helping her with what?
I mean, by keeping her locked up in a hotel room with no money and, you know, doing nothing at all. I
Yeah, we
don't-
slime. Say it. Go ahead, say it for him real quick, Tank. Yeah, we slime.
21 months.
Dexter, say
Yo,
it.
Mana, do you be subbed up? Like offline though? You just let that shit roll? What is this? It's a murder thing. Jason. Pause. Hey, Faisal.
I don't know how that's her A game.
Mana, you a real ass nigga.
The
though,
jury
you
is
are.
then sent off to deliberate on whether there is enough evidence to convict Brian Redding of murdering Cypress
I mean,
Noonan.
what do you mean? Ooh, we about to make a name for myself here. I mean, if the blood matches, how the fuck would it not be him? If they swab on the door and like DNA to DNA, no Batman, why would it not be him?
It's not even an hour
You know?
before the jury has reached a verdict.
I looked at my watch. It was about 30 minutes.
He killed himself.
It was very fast, and he was found guilty
Oh.
of murder
Type shit.
and possession of a weapon.
He
Start
was
over?
sentenced to
Nah.
48 years. Between the conviction
Damn.
and the sentence, he's gonna spend, if not the rest
Faisal,
of his
watch the
life
video when I
in
put on my
prison,
my plug channel.
pretty darn close
Ooh,
to it.
James promo.
You be running ads on your shit.